Hi, Martin from Bespoke Baits here again, and welcome to this video. In this video we are just starting to now get into a little bit more advanced boilie making. Hopefully you've seen our other two videos in this series. This is a little progression, and so now we're going to be looking at making batches of 1 kilogram of base mix or higher. Because we're going to start doing batches of 1 kilo or higher, we have invested in some extra equipment, and the first part being one of the plastic gardener rolling tables. Okay, so this one's 16 millimeters. Another thing we've invested in is a cat litter tray. Okay, cheapest chips from your local pet shop. Just a large, obviously probably get good kilo boilies in there, no problem, without them sitting on top of each other and squashing. So we're going to utilise that today. So I'm still using our gun. Obviously the nozzle that we have been using, it's no good because that was for an 18mm table. As you can see, what I've done is I've marked it up. So what I've done is I've got 18mm written on, I've got it's for the table, I've got the type of bait it was getting used, and I've even got the ratio that we're making it on. So nice shiny plastic. What I've had to do is give that a little rub with some emery, so that it's a little bit of a rough surface, so it takes the marker and sinks in. So got that for good now. Obviously I think maybe it still does want a little shave off, so I might just take a file or some emery, just give it a little rub and see how that goes, and then hopefully that'll be perfect for every time we do 18mm boilies. Okay, so you might have noticed in the background there another little bit of equipment that I've introduced to this mix is a blender. Okay, so most guys will have them kicking around the kitchen. So all I've done in there is I've bought 10 eggs, which is going to give me more than a kilo, so probably about 1.5 kilos, 1.75 kilos. I've brought the eggs into the blender. I've added the carpy liquid, and then I've also added a little bit of extras, bespoke baked extras, and what I've done is I've just turned the blender on, so now I have a nice pot of eggy liquid. Okay, so what I'm looking to do with this is, ideally I don't want to have a gun and a third, a gun and a quarter's worth of paste. I want full gun, just enough to get in so that I can pump this out. I'm maximising every load of the gun. I've got no spare paste sitting there going hard. Okay, so I'm going to be looking to weigh out my eggy liquid so that there's just enough for my ratio of 1.8 to 1 to make a full gun of paste. Okay, so because I'm looking to make enough paste to exactly try and fill my gun, okay, and this is my first attempt. However, I have noticed that when I've done my 1 egg mix, my 2 egg mix, roughly about 60 millilitres per egg, and looking at how much paste we had in when we had 2 eggs, 120ml. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, and I'm going to go for 180 millilitres of egg mix. Okay, I've already done the sum, so that's going to give me 324 grams of powder, which I've already weighed out. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get my eggy mix. I'm looking for 180 millilitres. $181, that's fine, not too bothered about that. Let's put our little theory of ratio egg to liquid to the test again. So powder straight in, the exact amount that I know I need. I'm going to get rid of those scales, and hopefully this guy is going to mix up. So as you can see, very quickly it's got itself into a nice lump. Obviously it just takes a little time, because obviously we are, if you imagine you've got that usable range, so maybe you might get away with 1.9, using 1.9, but we are at the bottom, we're at the softest, you know. I know that when I use that, it's not going to clag my table up, you know. I'm not going to leave residue all over the table and have to be cleaning my table. This is going to be a nice usable, and obviously it's going to come out, it's at its softest, and it's going to come out the gun the easiest. It's going to save a lot of work on my hands. Okay, like that. So I've increased the ratio, and I'll explain how I've done that. So obviously I had to add extra powder. Now, because I wrote everything down, I knew I had 180 grams of liquid. So if I weigh the paste, take away my liquid, my 180 grams, I'm left with the quantity of powder that I used. So the quantity of powder divided by 180 grams just came out at 1.94. okay, so really what I'm looking to do now is, my ratio has changed for this mix, for those ingredients, for this powder, to 1.94. and now this is the sort of thing you can do as you start doing bigger batches, because that 0.4, it's only like 0.14 that I've actually increased the ratio of powder to liquid. But that is perfect, because obviously as soon as I've mixed that, as soon as it comes out the bowl, I want to give it a little knead, get it into a sausage and get in the gun. You know, I want to get fishing, I want to get my bait made, and there's all little ways to make your boilie rolling more efficient, and just things that I've learnt over the years. Okay, so paste into my gun, and we're looking to fill a gun, and as you can see, our guess of 180 millilitres is well short. Because if I sort of push that down a bit, we're probably left with about maybe 50-60 millimeters. So I don't know, maybe we could actually work that out. So I think maybe 210 milliliters of liquid, and with the ratio of 1.94, we should be able to fill this gun. And obviously the first load, you have to fill the nozzle as well. So so we'll see how we go on our next run. Okay, so off camera there, I just had a little experiment with the nozzle. I knew I had one pretty close. Long time since I've used a boilie table like this. So obviously again I had to just trim it up a little bit, but we know I've got it working nice now. So all I'm going to do is start at the far side, and then without sort of dragging the sausage along the table away from that edge, I'm just going to slowly pump it out. So I feel I've got enough material to fill all the slots. Take the pressure off your gun, quite important, otherwise it'll just carry on squirting boilie paste. So I'm just going to square my edges up as best I can, just sort of stretch it across the table, and so we go, male and female on each end. And I've got a bit of a problem because it wants to slide, which is going to be a bit, give that a little roll, and lo and behold, we've made some boilies. Okay guys, so obviously this is sliding around, which is proving to be a bit of a pain. If I remember the last time when I had these, I borrowed this off a friend, when I had these things, I put them onto boards, and because there are little plastic feet which don't fit very well, and I had them on boards where you could sort of clamp them to the bench. So we're going to have to try and work around that in this instance. So introducing a new tool, and that is the old humble large paintbrush or wallpaper paste brush. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to use that to flick boilies into the cat litter tray. So away we go. Okay guys, so next batch I've just rolled up. So obviously this is, I've increased the amount of millimeters of liquid. I'm still using the 1.94 ratio to 1 of eggy liquid. That's come out pretty good. Maybe still on the soft side, but obviously again I'm still filming, I'm not banging into it. You know, if I was doing this on my own, I might change that just to 2. So literally whatever liquid I have, it times by 2 is the amount of powder I'm going to put in, and obviously I can work really fast. Now, when I was rolling the first sausage, or the first gun, obviously there was the odd end boilie which wasn't very good, so I took them out, and I've still got some of that paste, and obviously this paste is still in the nozzle. Okay, so you can have a look at that. That's a nice boilie paste, not leaving any residue, nice and firm, lovely and rollable. But I just want to compare it to this one, and I'm not sure if you can see that, but they are totally different, because this is older, it's absorbing egg liquid all the time. This is fresh. It is probably leaving a little bit of residue on my fingers. You know, this is still perfect boilie paste, and this one, fresh, just leaving residue on my fingers, just a little bit. So it just shows you how, even, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, it's 10-15 minutes old this, and this is fresh, just done it. So it just shows you how time can change the boilie paste, and obviously affect the size of it coming out of the gun. I mean, like the likes of this stuff now, be quite, you know, it's starting to get hard where you've got to squeeze it out of the boilie gun. Just a little thought. Okay guys, so what we have here is our second batch. We've increased the volume of the liquid to 210 millilitres, and we're looking to now fit that into our gun, and hopefully, and as you can see now, I'll show you on that camera there, and on that camera there, that is a really good fill. So I now know, and I'm going to write it down, remember to write everything down, 210 millilitres liquid per gun. I want to get fishing. I don't want to be making bait. Okay, so we are 2 guns in, and we have filled our tray. So if you've got multiple trays, it might be worth just doing all the rolling first, or you might want to boil, roll. I've done 2 guns, and already my hand is starting to ache, and I'm really struggling to get the paste out of the gun. Okay guys, just brushing the last few off. Another litre tray full. So now time to boil. Okay guys, we're all done. So we have got roughly just over a layer of boilies in each mushroom tray. 10 egg mix. So what I'm going to quickly do, I am going to very quickly weigh them, see how many we actually got, because in my experience normally you get about 1.4 So if you made a kilo of base mix, you will get 1.4 kilograms of boilies. So obviously normally an 8 egg mix is roughly a kilo, so we did 10, and lo and behold, fresh out the pan and still waiting to dry overnight, so obviously they would reduce a little bit, we have 1.922 kilograms. Good morning, carpers, and it's the next day. Well, it's actually not the next day because couldn't get round yesterday, but it's the day after. So we've had 36 hours air dried boilies, so they're looking good now. So what I thought I'd do, just give them a little way. We did a 10 egg mix. I don't know why we did 10 eggs, but we only had 10 eggs, so let's see what we've got. So I'm going to guess at about 10 egg mix. So an 8 egg mix will give you a kilo roughly, but you get about 1.4 by the time you add the liquids, and I'm going to guess at 1.75 kilos. .704. So we've got so it's a little bit under, probably because they dried a little bit longer than I would normally dry them. Anyway, what we've decided to do with these and the other boilies that we made by hand with no tools and with basic tools is we're going to run a little competition via our Facebook page. So what we're going to do is we are going to divide them up into approximately just short, maybe into 3 batches. Today we're going to make some hook baits, we're going to make some wafters, and we are going to make some pop-ups to match this mix, and then we're going to give them away on our Facebook page. So if you're not already on our Facebook page, please get on there and like it and share it, because obviously that's what you're going to have to do to enter the competition. And free of charge we will post a small batch of these boilies out to you with a few hook baits, a few wafters and a few pop-ups.